So I've been holding on to this video for a while. Wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to release it or not. After publishing a couple of videos about Ukraine, I was still receiving a lot of comments about how dangerous Ukraine was. I felt like I had to go see it for myself. It was nothing like what I thought it would look like. I am in Kyiv. I'm here with my friend Vlad's mom. Say hello.
Hello.
Kyiv is really nice, especially in the city center. The architecture is phenomenal. A lot of people like to make comparisons between Poland and Ukraine, and I actually think the infrastructure is very, very different. There's a lot of rich history and culture in Ukraine that I was very surprised by. And the people here have been super, super friendly. Even though Ukraine is, I guess, a poorer country, you don't have some of the same safety issues as you do as a place like Colombia. So if you want a non-biased report of everything that's going on here in Ukraine, I highly recommend this video right here. I feel like she does a very good job talking about the wants and needs of both Russia and Ukraine. I think as someone who's not directly involved with the conflict, it is very arrogant to say that Ukraine is totally in the right and Russia's totally in the wrong, or vice versa. And I kind of feel the same about the Israel-Palestine conflict as well. This is the tricky thing about human nature. I don't think there's anything that's truly good or truly bad. It's just we're in a constant conflict over ideas and what we feel is right. Wait, which city are we in? Irpin, which is right outside of Kyiv. When the war started, a lot of people were trying to evacuate. That's when a bunch of rockets came and destroyed the only bridge out of the city. So over there is the new bridge, and they just recently constructed that. Wow. Oh, that's a truck?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we crossed over to the other side of the bridge. When all the people were trying to get out of the city, there was a huge line of cars because the bridge was destroyed. So a lot of people had to get out of their car, leave all of their stuff, and cross the bridge by foot. This is where they put all of the cars afterwards. I know this is probably going to upset a lot of people, but I also have plans on visiting Russia in the future, and I would love to hear their side of the story. I'm not super educated on politics or history, and I would like to get the locals' opinions on it. I am definitely thinking about learning Russian, and even just saying that has caused some people to be very angry. How could I learn that language knowing everything that's going on with Russia right now? And that to me is such a weird argument. If you speak Russian, you can speak to Ukrainians, people from Belarus, from Russia, and many Eastern European countries as well. But I also know that there's a segment of the population in Ukraine that is also on Russia's side, and I think it's a very simplistic argument to say that they're all in the wrong, and if you're pro-Ukraine, you're all in the right. There's nothing like a big event like war that really brings people together. So far in my experience, I think a lot of people have been very thankful that I've been like visiting Ukraine. They treat me super nicely for being Chinese. Everybody is like, oh wow, hello. And there's a really awesome vibe of unity in the air that you can definitely feel once you're in the country. I think because it's been a couple of years since the war already, a lot of the intensity and the anxiety has gone down. Kyiv and other parts of Ukraine, like towards the west, are still relatively safe. At the moment, you can feel a lot of Ukrainian pride, and I respect that a lot.
First years of our war, and these students who dead, and look this picture. They come
Go to heaven.
To the sky.
Look at the death. It's like 2014. So that's when the war started, more or less. This is actually one of the most beautiful things about traveling. By being able to experience and see how different people live their lives, it's given me a lot of perspective into how I live my life and a lot of my opinions on things, right? And it makes me question, like, do I believe this way because I really believe it, or because my government telling me that I need to believe a certain thing? Damn, that's crazy. Oh my God, look at that. Everything seems so peaceful now, but I imagine a couple of years ago when this first started, it must have been so crazy.
Around safe mothers with children, and Russians know it. We can see from, do you know Sputnik? When Russian soldiers fly in the plane, can see children, many big word, and they put down bomb in this building.
This used to be a school? You think we can go inside? It's crazy. Walking through this building, it's like a video game almost. I'm just expecting like a zombie to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes, right? This is probably like used to be a dormitory. So you see how all the markings are along the wall like this? It's because someone came with a gun and shot this whole entire place up. We're driving along a street right now. It looks brand new. There's a bunch of really nice homes. If you see the photos of how the street was before, it was completely destroyed. Now it's completely rebuilt. It's quite impressive how much Ukraine has been able to do within the last couple of years since the attacks. So she was showing me photos that right in front of this church that we're about to see, there's a mass grave of 400 people there. And she has pictures of like the Russians moving the bodies and everything. Oh my gosh. I low-key just kind of get chills walking through this place. Every time there's a place that I've been to where a lot of people have died, you can kind of feel the vibe in the air. There's like a energy of all the dead people. It's very intense.
Bird, 4 years old, little boy.
Oh my gosh.
Timothy.
In our part of the world, we don't really experience a lot of conflicts like this. We haven't really seen war in a very long time. So me walking around, seeing how many people have been affected by this stuff, it just makes me feel very like privileged to have grown up in the US. It's quite amazing how much the Ukrainian people have bounced back. Like 2 years ago was the most intense fighting, and now it seems like the people are moving on as normal. Oh, look at this. 7 years old. This person was born when I was born. Oh man. Something that really rubs me the wrong way about the US is that how people have such strong opinions about conflicts that they have no idea about. We haven't really had a major conflict that has happened on our soil. You know, maybe 9/11. A lot of people seem to have very strong opinions without one being properly educated, because the American education system on history is very bad. They only see things on the news or read something online, and then they establish their whole entire perspective and opinion based on that. I don't want to speak about things that I am not fully educated on. All I can really do is just share my experience. Holy shit.
Home.
Okay. That's really good.
This man want to give you a present.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
For Georgia guest, it's an important small present for you.
Oh my god, it's so much.
We have good evening today.
Yes. Yeah, very. Oh, that looks so good. I'm so excited for this food. That's onion. That's so good. I think it's beef.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so good. Wow. This city, what is it called?
Borodyanka.
Borodyanka, like Jakuyo, like Jang.
Yes.
And all those crows. Banksy?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's a kindergarten right there. And it's right next to this building that just got destroyed. Walking around here, the crows just like, arr, arr, arr. The vibe of the place is very weird. Something that I think we can all agree upon is how terrible war is for everybody. I feel very blessed to have grown up in a time of relative peace and to not see the direct effects of war on my family because I grew up in the US. When I was in Ukraine and hearing the sirens go off and how Ukrainians were just so used to the sirens and the missiles and everything that they were just carrying on their everyday life, that really left an impact on me. I was freaking out, I'm not gonna lie. Like every time I heard those sirens, I was just like slightly anxious. I didn't know what to do. One of my friends, she could hear the missiles flying over her house when in Lviv. But every time I would talk to my Ukrainian friends, they're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Nothing's really going to happen. All of a sudden, a lot of the problems that I had when I was like in the US or when people complain about first world problems seem not so important anymore, because all of these things that are happening in other places in the world. And I have a lot of respect for the Ukrainian military because many of them have stayed and fought for the country knowing that it was a lopsided battle. And I don't know if I would do the same. I find that very respectable. We walked into a bar and then they gave us beer to go in a plastic bottle. I've never seen this before. Apparently we could just walk around and drink this on the street.
Hey,
Budmo, yes. Budmo.
Hey.
That's very good. What is this?
Хріновуха.
Budmo.
Будьмо, hey. Будьмо, hey. Будьмо, hey. Yeah.
It clears the nose and everything, but it tastes disgusting.
Yes.
You like?
Yes, very. I like. Cozy. cozy,
Has honey.
honey.
It's like a pickle.
No, not good. No.
What is this soup called?
Solянка.
That's really good. And the bread has like a little coating of garlic on top of it. That's also very good.
Pampushka.
Pampushka. So what are my thoughts after visiting Ukraine? I thought it was going to be completely foreign. I really didn't have any expectations going into it. What I found was a beautiful country with amazing people and a very deep and rich culture. And I can understand why Ukrainians have something to fight for. So in the future, I do plan on trying to visit Russia, China. I would also love to see Israel and a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. I know the conflict in the Middle East right now may be a little more intense. If you guys live in those places, I would love to connect. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the video in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.